How would you compose a theme for a monk or a ninja in Final Fantasy? Usually these classes are defined by strict discipline, martial arts, or a dark shadowy past. When you think of characters like Sabin or Yang, likely you think of meditative raw power that could go from mystical to driving percussion, or intense rhythms that sound like rigorous training montage. If you consider ninjas like Edge or Shadow, you could be inspired by the shakuhachi or the shamisen, bringing back memories of a past Japan. But Amarant Coral is different. He doesn't train in the dojo, and he clearly isn't disciplined. He's a bounty hunter, a lone wolf. He's a character who actively rejects the concept of friendship and teamwork. Nobuo Uematsu didn't write him a traditional martial arts theme. He wrote him a funky, detached, and highly synthesized groove. He had to score a character defined by the Japanese keyword Shousou, arrogance in English, a man whose entire worldview is built on the idea that the strong survive and the weak perish. I'm Emiliano Giaquinta, and this is a deep dive into the arrogance of Amarant from Final Fantasy IX. Let's take a look. So, the first thing that hits you is the bass line. In a medieval fantasy game, Uematsu gives Amarant an electric bass. Very simple, but this rhythm, it grooves. It's a simple pitch, a strong and hypnotic pedal line. It hits down on the downbeat, preceded by a third of a triplet. Amarant is not running into battle. He's casually walking away with victory in his pocket. Furthermore, the drum kit features a laid-back feel. Let's take a look at that. It's using hi-hats, a bass drum, and a shaker. It gives kind of a little bit of a jazzy feel, and by using these modern timbres, Uematsu creates a sonic wall. Amarant literally sounds like he's rejecting the traditional acoustic family of the main cast. So this is an interesting compositional technique to separate the character from the rest of the party. Let's listen again to the intro. Cool, simple but effective. Over this modern machine, the melody enters. The melody is composed of 3 different lines, which are grouped under one synthesizer, creating rather than a melody, a chordal statement. I consider them separated given the panning they have in the original soundtrack, but if you add them up, in the end they are just playing simple triads. The interesting artifact here is that those triads still collide against the grounded bass line on A. So you get some advanced harmonies just by this interplay. Let's listen to section A. First the synthesizer. Now let's listen to them in combination with the rest of the band. So, if we only analyze the chords as they are played by the synthesizer, we get to play a A minor over E, a B flat, an E minor, an F, and a A minor. So basically would be A minor over E, a B flat, E minor, F, now as I was saying, they are playing against the bass guitar that is continuously playing a pedal tone in A. So this creates interesting changes. For example, the A minor, now it's gonna sound in root position. The B flat against the A sounds like a B flat major 7 over A. The E minor sounds like could be A7 sus 2 over E. The F sounds like a first inversion, F over A. And the A minor over A, well, it's just an A. So my point being here, how a pedal tone can change completely the harmonies you're playing. And it's just a very easy, straightforward musical technique, but lays a interesting foundation for the whole piece. Now, as a melodic statement, it is sober and keeps the listener at arm's length. Amarant is telling us musically, don't get close to me, I don't need you. We listen again. As I mentioned, I combined all the synthesizer lines into one instrument. In the original soundtrack, you will hear each of them pan on different locations, but still it sounds scarce. It sounds like there's air in there. But over this scarcity, the texture changes. We enter section B, and Uematsu still refuses to give us some acoustic warmth. Instead, we get more sustained synthesized chords. Again, they could be a synthesizer or electric piano, and they just back up the melody with more lines. So the amount of melodic parallel line goes up incredibly. We have around 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 12 beautiful lines in parallel. Yes, we went from 3 to 12. That means 4 times the thickness. This creates a slightly wider, more atmospheric soundscape. However, even when the harmony shifts and tries to open up, the rigid drum loop never changes. Unlike the breathing human tempo changes we hear in acoustic tracks, this beat is uncompromising. It refuses to slow down, breathe, or adapt to the emotional changes of the chords. Just like Amarant refuses to adapt to the emotional needs of the party. He remains rigid. Now, maybe it's just a limitation of the piece itself, but I really feel that this hypnotic background percussion is driving the theme. There are 3 points I would like to share specifically of section B. The first one is that the chordal arrangement, or basically the chords formed by the different synthesizer lines, play a lot of A minor chords that are followed by variations. Like for example, here we have A minor to D minor, A minor to F over A, D minor again, and F over A. But also it plays some chords, some major chords, but immediately plays a minor chord afterwards. It is like hinting that Amarant is not just a bad guy, but whenever he shows a side of kindness or a smile, quickly remembers he needs to be the cool guy, not letting light be at his side. Like for example here. The second one, and I think as a composer it's a very important one, is that between the chords there's silence. There's a lot of gap to be filled. Silence is a powerful and underrated composition skill. Letting instruments breathe and giving our brain the signal that something is missing makes the sonic return even more interesting. Lastly, the last two musical additions are woodwinds. They play tenuto quarter notes, reinforcing this concept of sparseness and silence. Let's listen to them in isolation. Cool. So tenuto, which is Italian for held, is a musical articulation directing a performer to hold a note for its full duration or slightly longer, often adding a subtle emphasis, weight, or slight lingering separations from surrounding notes. Each of these dyads are being played a third apart. In most cases, the third is played on the bass recorder and the root in the alto recorder. Let's listen to everything together. Cool. Very somber tone, right? We really don't get to see out of Amarant an inch of happiness, I would say. The theme itself is constructed in a V prime sections, so also the structure of the theme is very straightforward. But yeah, that's pretty much what we can extract from this composition. Amarant's theme is brilliant because it uses pure modern instrumentation as a character development. By making him sound like a modern, synthesized anomaly, Uematsu perfectly captures his Shousou, his arrogant detachment from the rest of the world. It makes the moment in Ibsen Castle so much more impactful, right? When Amarant falls and Zidane returns to save him, his entire worldview shatters. The lone wolf finally realizes that true strength doesn't come from pushing people away, but from lifting them up. Thank you for watching. I hope you liked the episode and let me know in the comments, did you keep Amarant in your party? For the next episode, we're gonna talk about the one that wants to eat it all. I'm talking about Quina. So stay tuned and see you next time.